when the Rams, after 2 possessions, had more turnovers won than first downs. The Saints averaged 4.5 yards a play, easily the lowest and weakest of the final 4 teams. Todd Gurley got benched, the best offensive player for the Rams, and Sean Payton inexplicably passed the ball instead of running it late to eat the clock. I still don't know what he was thinking. But hey, it's the refs. Yes, it's the refs. You do realize why I picked the Rams. Drew Brees in his first 11 games had 29 touchdowns and 2 picks and a passer rating of 127. But Drew Brees' last 6 games, he's had 7 touchdowns, 5 picks, and a passer rating of 88. The Saints, during and after the Cowboy games, were never the same offense. They've been dink and dunk since. Fans demand perfect officiating, but Sean Payton got out-coached late, and Drew Brees, and it's true, got outplayed by Jared Goff late. But, Colin, what about that penalty? Well, I'm so glad you brought that up. Let's actually run tape and sound of that egregious penalty.
Fake it to Anderson. Out to the left. Goff. Gonna dive.
You know, I don't think that running the ball was what he wanted to do. There's the face mask. Once he got outside the pocket here, he could have just gone after it.
Oh, you didn't mean that one, because that one actually took points off the board. That would have been a 1st and goal for the Rams at the 1, and the refs whiffed it. But, Colin, you could barely see that. Since when in pro football do you get bonus points for an egregious whiff? A whiff is a whiff. That was a whiffed call. And that took 4 points away from the Rams, who settled for a field goal. They would have had a 1st and goal at the 1. But it's called recency bias. That's what psychologists call it. It's always the last blown call, the most recent, that is outrageous and cost us the game. So let's talk about this blown call, which got everybody worked up.
Quick snap. Breeze. Pass is incomplete. No flag for Tommy Lee Lewis. Nickel Roby-Coleman delivered a hit, and the 2 officials talk to each other. Crowd's going crazy as there's no flag right on the Saints sideline.
That should have been a penalty. And Sean Payton is justifiably upset.
Yes, he should be. That was a blown call, too, and the one America's freaking out about. But the Rams, previous to that, would have taken a 24-20 lead. Instead, they settled for a tie, which probably actually changes this drive. Again, in psychology, it's called recency bias. That last blown call, that's what lost it for us. Wasn't the fact that the Saints peaked in November, that Brees was outplayed, and he was by Jared Goff, that Sean Payton, in one of the strangest moves ever, even questioned by Buck and Aikman, passed the ball on 1st down. Sean, at that point in the game, you're not facing the Rams. You're facing the clock. Sean Payton was outcoached. Drew Brees was outplayed. By the way, it should be just calls matter more than just previously whiffed calls. You had the ball and threw a pick and got it first in overtime and couldn't score. You had multiple opportunities in that game, but you go ahead, you blame the refs on that final call. But those settling for field goals early, 50 yards rushing, outplayed, outcoached late, the better team won. The Rams traveled 3,000 miles, couldn't hear themselves think for the first hour, were completely discombobulated. But as we said Friday, over time, the team peaking now and not in November, not against the Cowboys, would win this football game. For the record, coming up next, the overtime rule, and how cool was that? Both games went into overtime, has got people worked up. And I've got some thoughts on that coming up. Using TrueCar gives you an advantage when you go to a TrueCar certified dealer. Because the reality is they have the knowledge, right, car dealers? And they have the power, leverage, and the information. TrueCar gives you equal footing. Go to TrueCar.com and check out the true price. It'll tell you what fees will be. It'll tell you what accessories will be. So you walk into the dealership knowing, okay, I know what they know. Who doesn't want an upfront discounted price that includes everything from fees to incentives and accessories? There are over 3 million cars have been sold to TrueCar users through the TrueCar Certified Dealer Network. And there's 15,000 of those in the country. And you can save $3,000 on average off MSRP. Doesn't matter if you want to buy a new car or a used car.